So it looks like President-elect Donald Trump is about to do it again. He's about to end this war between Russia and Ukraine. But at the same time, there's discussions about Israel and Gaza ending that war as well. There's a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, so that's great news too. So right now, the United States could be pulling out of multiple wars and conflicts over in that end of the world. So that could be really good news for us moving forward. But today, I want to talk about the big war. That's the one between Russia and Ukraine. According to reports, now even the Ukrainian President Zelensky is talking about a potential deal. So I'm going to break down what is happening at this time, why this is such big news, and what this could mean for all of us moving forward. But before I get there, I do ask one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So there has been a lot of discussions recently about ending this war between Russia and Ukraine. Most of these discussions have happened since we knew that President-elect Donald Trump would be the next president. And the reason why these discussions are happening now is because President Trump is going to come in with the position of power. He does not want to look weak. He will look strong from day one. And that's something that President Biden has not done. But look at this. It says President Zelensky from Ukraine says NATO offer for Ukraine-controlled territory could end the hot stage of war. Now, what does he mean by this? Well, here's what you need to understand. Currently, Ukraine is not part of NATO. This is one of the things that Russia has been pretty much demanding. If there's going to be a ceasefire, Ukraine cannot be part of NATO because that would put Russia and NATO right there on the doorsteps. They don't want to do that. Now, here's the issue. Russia has currently taken over, I believe it's about 17 to 18% of Ukrainian territory over on the east part of Ukraine. That right there is what everyone's discussing. That's what President-elect Donald Trump has even said. If we are going to end this war, what we have to do is give Russia that territory. We can't keep fighting over the same territory that we always fight over. Give it to Russia, end that war, demand that Russia pulls out of the rest of Ukraine, and then things will slowly go back to normal. Here's the issue. The United States, under the Biden administration, has been sending billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. And according to reports, this money and these assets, our military equipment, should have been sent before the Russian invasion, and it should have been sent quickly after, not 2-3 years later. This is not the way you win a war. You don't wait 2.5 years and then decide we should probably send a little bit more. We should probably allow Ukraine to use long-range missiles to strike into Russia. And that only came after Russia started using North Korean troops to fight on their front lines. Yeah, this is turning into a big issue. Look at this though. It says an offer of NATO membership to territory under Kyiv's control would end the hot stage of the war in Ukraine. But any proposal to join the military alliance should be extended to all parts of the country that fall under internationally recognized border. That's what Vladimir Zelensky said in a recent interview. Now, here's what you need to understand. Currently, Russia is inside of Ukraine. Okay, the eastern part of Ukraine, okay, that's pretty much just Russian territory. But it's not internationally recognized. That's the issue. So there's no way Ukraine can join NATO and then NATO protects all of Ukraine because Russia currently occupies about 17-18% of Ukrainian territory. That's the issue there. I want to read you something else. Look at this right here. It says Zelensky's remarks on Friday, so again, this was just yesterday, signaled a possible way forward to the difficult path Ukraine faces to future NATO membership. At their summit in Washington in July, the 32 members declared Ukraine on an irreversible path to membership. Everybody thought back in the summer that Ukraine is going to make it into NATO, right? Everyone thought that, yes, this is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Well, this could happen, but, and again, this isn't a guarantee. Let's keep reading this. It says, however, one obstacle to moving forward has been the view that Ukraine's borders would need to be clearly demarcated before it could join so that there can be no mistaking where the alliance's pact of mutual defense would come into effect. Again, that's the biggest issue. Now, Ukraine has to come out and say, okay, we are going to accept that Russia now occupies this part of the country. We are going to pretty much give them that part. We're going to step away. Okay? Now, look at this. It says, so legally, by law, we have no right to recognize the occupied territory as territory of Russia. And they don't, because it's technically part of Ukraine. It says, since the start of the war in 2022, Russia has been expending huge amounts of weaponry and human life to make small but steady territorial gains to the nearly 1/5 of Ukraine it already controls in east and southern Ukraine. Now, this is why things are taking a turn. Look at this right here. Okay? This is from Ukraine's point of view. It says, desertion threatens to starve Ukraine's forces at a crucial time in its war with Russia. Not only are the soldiers being deserted, okay, food is limited, water is limited. Now heat is limited because Russia is attacking Ukraine's power grid. So not only do they not have heat and electricity, right, food and water are in short supply as well. And so right now Ukraine is saying, well, maybe we need to protect the rest of our country by just giving this part of the country to Russia. Yeah. And Russia could potentially go for it because right now, this is what Russia's dealing with. It says the ruble tumbles as Russia's war economy comes under increasing strain. It says new sanctions package closes one of the last conduits of hard currency to Moscow. Right now, with the ruble collapsing, with Ukrainian citizens worried about food and water, worried about their shelter, their safety, worried about heat, especially in cold months. They're putting a lot of pressure. The citizens, the economies are putting pressure on their leaders to strike a deal because right now nobody's winning. How is Russia winning this war when their ruble is tumbling? How is Ukraine winning the war when people are going without food and water and are cold, are miserable, and have no electricity? No one's winning. This is a lose-lose situation right now. But look at this. Vladimir Putin, he threatens to strike Ukraine again with a new missile after wave of attacks on energy. This is just, again, beginning. And I said this before, this is something that we're going to have to see somebody step in and end the war for Ukraine and Russia. President Biden is not that person. Okay? Other world leaders are not that person. President-elect Donald Trump is that person. Okay? He is not going to stand by and let this war continue, especially in a time when the United States is worried about what could come in the near future. Look at this right here. It says Kellogg. And so, if you don't know who this is, let me go back up here really quick. Right here, okay, it says Trump's Ukraine envoy has a plan to end the war that Putin may revel in. Now, Trump's his envoy right here, okay, says, I am very pleased to nominate General Keith Kellogg to serve as assistant to the president and special envoy for Ukraine and Russia. It says, together we will secure peace through strength and make America and the world safe again. Okay. Now, here's what he said. Says, Kellogg says more weapons should have been given before the Russian invasion and immediately afterwards to enable Ukraine to win. Like I said. But here's the big thing. Kellogg says the United States doesn't need involvement in another conflict. and its own stocks of weaponry have suffered from aiding Ukraine, leaving the country potentially exposed in any conflict with China over Taiwan. He says Ukraine's NATO membership, in truth, a very distant prospect, tentatively offered to Kyiv in symbolic solidarity, should be put on hold indefinitely in exchange for a comprehensive and verifiable peace deal with security guarantees. Now, that's the move forward. That's what we're going to see. I just want to be very clear here, though. All this is happening because Russia does not want to go up against President-elect Donald Trump. Okay? Most other countries do not want to go up against Donald Trump. They'd go up against President Biden. They would have went up against would-be President Kamala Harris, but they do not want to go up against our President-elect Donald Trump. That's why, according to reports, many countries are trying to get on the right side of the United States. They want to be on the good side. So, we're going to see what happens moving forward, but as of this morning, that is what we know. So again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Again, if you want to enjoy these daily updates, go ahead, click that subscribe button so you never miss an update, and I will see you guys on the next one.